Hi there, I'm Miriam and welcome to Miriam's Manor. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. The content that I create is mostly Christmas, especially Christmas villaging, but I also do home decor as well as gardening. So for those of you who are already used to hanging out with me, welcome back, family. Today's video, I have two different adhesives from Hotwire Foam Factory that I want to talk to you guys about. I did receive some questions on this, as well as the Hotwire Foam Factory foam coat. Now, I am going to be addressing that in a separate video that's going to be in the near future, so don't worry. But today I'm going to just talk about the different adhesives. So let's start with this one first. This is the Styro Goo. Now, this is something that I have truly grown to love because this has such a quick bind. It tacks up almost immediately, and it is something that if you are wanting to put a really quick project together, this is definitely the way to go because it has full adhesion in just like 30 minutes. So then you don't have to wait hours to paint your project and things like that. Now, this particular Styro Goo should be used when you are joining two pieces together. I'll put an image of how I used this recently up on the screen so that you guys can see. So the pieces are already carved and completed, and I just wanted to bind the two pieces together. So this is when you would want to use this particular type of glue. It has a very strong adhesion. It dries very quickly, so it will allow you to continue on with your project a lot faster. That is the Styro Goo. So the Foam Fusion, this particular product is what you would use that would take the place of using your regular white glue on your projects. With that being said, so the Foam Fusion as well as the white glue, in essence, they do the same thing. They bind your pieces of styrofoam together so that you can have multi-layers. But here's the difference. The Foam Fusion dries and is designed that you can carve through it easily. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but I actually experienced this quite a bit. When I use the regular white glue to adhere my styrofoam pieces together, when I would cut through it sometimes, my blade would get stuck because either A, the glue was still a little bit tacky and hadn't dried all the way yet, or B, it had completely dried and there was such a thick layer, it had gotten so hard that I couldn't cut through it. Even with my variable power supply box, I would turn the heat all the way up and still have to apply a lot more pressure than what I would like to cut through some of that white glue. So that's the biggest difference, is this is going to preserve your tools. You guys know the issues that I had with tools in the past, especially hot knives before I started using Hotwire Foam Factory's hot knife. If you are using a tool that you've purchased like off of Amazon and things like that, and you're using the white glue, it's just a matter of time before it breaks, and you'll have to purchase new tools or better tools that heat up a little bit better to carve through that foam. This Foam Fusion saves your blades. It's easy to cut through it with whatever tool you're using. Now, I've tried this with my hot knife, with my freehand router, as well as my sculpting tool, and this seamlessly cuts through with all three tools. When I use my regular white glue, sometimes I have to switch between products to carve through something because that glue layer might be too thick. Now, the reason I would put my white glue layers on a little bit thicker is because I don't like that separation and for the seams to show in my projects. So I've had that happen in the past when I put very thin layers of white glue on there, even adding weights while things dry. So to avoid that, when I noticed I would use a thicker layer, it would bind a lot better. But then it was a catch-22 on the back end, because when it comes time to carve, then I am kind of fighting through with my blade, trying to get it through that hardened glue. And if you guys have ever experienced carving through the foam after you've used white glue and you get that hard, like thick, crusty line right where two pieces of styrofoam meet in that seam, if you see kind of like that thicker crust, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's created from the white glue and that heat from your tool meeting, and it's burning the glue, and it leaves like this thicker crusty line that now you have to get a little bit creative to either sand off and do a little bit more work, or get creative with your paint or use moss to try to hide some of those imperfections. So when you use this foam fusion, it really just eliminates that. It takes away the need to do all of that extra work on the back end. It's going to make your tools last a lot longer, especially if you are using a hot knife that maybe only costs you like $10 on Amazon, or you got a whole set of tools for like $20, $25 on Amazon. Those tools don't heat up very hot. I've purchased so many of them, I know. So you're gonna burn through a lot of tools unnecessarily. The other good thing about both of these products are you don't need to use a lot of these at all. I have used this particular Styro Goo, at least 6 or 7 different times on different projects of different sizes. And I still have about this much left in my bottle. And I actually used this on a really large scale when I did my resurrection scene build, and those were really large projects, and I still have that much glue left. It's just not something you have to use a lot of. The same with the foam coat. I use so little of this. This is gonna last me forever because I just don't use a ton of it. So that is the other benefit, in my opinion. For those of you who have these products that you had questions on, like, I have these, but which one do I use for this? How do I use it? I hope that that has answered your questions today. Let me know your feedback and your experience and how you have used these and which ones you guys prefer. So for those of you who are not aware, I do work with a rep at Hotwire Foam Factory. Her name is Pat. I will list her number right here below on the screen. You are able to purchase tools and these types of products directly from her. The awesome thing that I love about Pat, you guys, she is not just a Hotwire Foam Factory rep. She is actually a Christmas villager. She has been villaging for decades, and that's kind of how she actually stumbled into being a rep for Hotwire Foam Factory, because she and her husband would build these beautiful bases in different pieces and landscapes for their village years and years and years ago. And she started using their tools and then ended up becoming a rep for them. So she is very knowledgeable on all things Hotwire Foam Factory, and whatever products that you purchase from her, she can give you wonderful advice on how to use them, which tools will work better for you. She's also really good about assessing where you're at in your village and putting kits together for you that are like beginner kits, intermediate kits, more advanced, depending on where you are at in your stage of your Christmas villaging. So if this is your first year and you kind of let her know that, and you let her know what you want to do now and what you want to do in the future, she can help put a kit together for you of tools that will be beneficial for you to get now and then build on later. So I hope that this video has helped answer the questions regarding these particular adhesives. If you guys have any questions for me on them in my personal experience, if there's something that I haven't covered, definitely leave me a line in the comment section and I will get back with you. If you also have more questions that I maybe just don't know, I would definitely say reach out to Pat if you're going to be placing an order, and ask her, because she has been using these products for years. I have been only using these particular products for about 5 months, but so far I love them, and I don't know if I would ever go back to using regular white glue after having a good amount of time to now play with both of these products. So If you haven't done so already, please give me a big thumbs up for this video. You guys, if you go check out my Etsy page, I do have some new merchandise. I'm still getting the rest of my merchandise up on my page throughout this month for Christmas in July. But I do have some new pieces on my Etsy page, so go check it out. Please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also become a member if you would like by clicking on the link in the description box of this video. And until I see you again, stay safe, God bless you, and I will see you soon. Bye.